This question is actually for Congressman Schiff. You had gone on our air on Fox News Sunday a couple of weeks ago and called this a colossal waste of time. You're standing here today ready to serve on this committee. Can you square those two, your decision to serve on the committee and what you said a couple of weeks ago, please?
Well, I still think that this is ground that we have covered time and time again. The pertinent questions have been asked and answered again. But I respect the decision that's been made. I think Elijah Cummings said it quite well. The decision was ultimately made that we need somebody in that room to stand up for the truth. And that will be our responsibility, to make sure that this does not become a select committee on talking points, that we focus instead on the things that really matter. And that is, what can we do to prevent other people from being killed in the future at diplomatic posts around the world, and where are we in hunting down those who are responsible? Those are important responsibilities, and if we can help direct this committee to focus on those questions, then I think it'll be very important. But regrettably, that does not seem to be the direction they're heading. Nonetheless, we're going to do our best to make sure this doesn't become a circus or continue to be a fundraising device, but instead focuses on where are we in implementing the recommendations, the very sound recommendations of the Accountability Review Board.
Mayor Pelosi, you said you weren't able to strike a deal with the Republicans. So Mr. Gowdy can unilaterally subpoena witnesses, depose witnesses. Mr. Cummings, have you talked to him? Do you think you have a better relationship with him, that you can come to some kind of deal that you will be consulted beforehand or be in the room for some of these interviews?
Certainly always hopeful. I talked to Gowdy very briefly on yesterday, and, we basically wanted to be in a position where we were consulted with regard to subpoenas. And if there was disagreement, we were asking that it be brought to a vote of the committee. And that's what we were asking for. Of course, it's a 7-5 split, as you well know, so they have the votes. And one of the reasons why we wanted that is because we believe that the confrontation would be very significant, and there may have been things that we could have done to move that process along so we didn't have to go that far. But the fact is, I don't know what's going to happen with regard to Mr. Gowdy. Everything that I've seen from him, and I do consider him a great prosecutor, and I've seen him in a prosecutorial mode in our committee, and I think that, but as far as this committee is concerned, I think we have to go in and be finders of the fact. I think we have to go in neutral. I don't think that we need to be making accusations before we even get in the room to hear the facts. And so, I don't know what's going to happen, but the one thing he did say to me is he's hopeful that we would be able to have a situation where there would be fairness. And I'm going to hold him to that, and all of us are going to hold him to that. And the last thing, one of the reasons why the leader was so concerned about that, and I was too, is because we had situations where, in the Oversight Committee, where we were not consulted at all with regard to subpoenas. And that's a very, very serious responsibility. And we think that the minority should be included in that process.
Just quickly, I agree with my colleagues, and this is a committee that should not have been formed. It has been investigated 8 times, but since the Republicans chose to form it, I think we have to participate to do our best to bring out the correct arguments. At this point, it appears that this is a purely partisan and political effort, and that is regrettable, because my biggest concern here is the blow to Congress's credibility. I mean, we don't have a lot of that left, as you're aware. Oversight of things like this is incredibly important. When something like this happens, Congress has an obligation to ask the right questions, to conduct proper oversight. And from the very beginning, this is not what the Republicans have done on this issue. They've made it partisan. They've made it political. They've undermined our ability to do our jobs as a Congress. Now, the commission is formed. We have to serve on it. I think that to make the best comments possible, we can't simply let the Republicans run the show. But I will tell you at this point, I'm highly skeptical, even when you look at the members that they appointed to the committee. committee. They're lacking in experience on national security or foreign policy matters for the most part. So what is the purpose here? And then you read stories about how they're fundraising off of this. This is a partisan political process. We hope, as my colleague from California pointed out, to shift it to at least be, somewhat useful to talk about the issues that matter. But right now, it does not look good. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Congresswoman Linda Sanchez, and I just want to make one correction. I serve on the Ways and Means Committee and the Ethics Committee. So as somebody who is in a position to have to be a trier of fact and take in evidence and make decisions based on what the evidence shows, when your leader asks you to serve your country on a select committee, it makes sense to be in that room. And I have a lot of respect for the colleagues that stand behind me. They're outstanding members. They're thorough members. And I think sitting and trying to get at the facts, leaving politics out of the room is going to be the challenge for this committee. And we're here to try to make sure that we're looking at the facts, not just making up allegations. So I'm honored to be asked to serve, and I'm ready and I'm willing to do it.
Thank you.
Tammy Duckworth. I represent Illinois' 8th Congressional District. I have the great privilege of serving on both the Armed Services Committee and the Oversight and Government Reform Committee. I, too, am honored to be asked to serve my country in this way. Having been a freshman on Oversight and Government Reform, I've watched as Mr. Cummings, time and again, in a very measured way, put forward requests for the truth, for greater transparency. I've sat in committee where the testimony of Admiral Mullen, a man with over 30 years of military experience, on whether or not there were capacity for military aircraft to make it to Benghazi in time, was questioned by someone with no military experience, questioning his judgment as a military commander. So I'm proud to get to be on this committee, and I'm going to stand for the truth. I'm going to start from square one. I want to make sure that no American diplomat, no American life, no American service member is ever put in the same kind of jeopardy where we don't have the resources there to protect them as they carry out this nation's business around the world. And I'm very proud to serve on this committee. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.